We touched on the primary chords last time with Christine. She'd prepared them very, very nicely, very beautifully. The C major chords from the C major primary chords, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that was great. So one, I guess one activity we could do together in a visualization type fashion is we can think about these C major chords, and I could ask you, okay, let's say we're in the fifth position. You know, what notes do we need to make C major? Where will we play them in the fifth position, for example? So that's our reference point there. There's the 8th, there's the 12th. So let's do that. Let's start with that. So I'll get the file ready.
That makes sense. I was actually doing that last night as I was going to sleep. That's very
good. Awesome. Okay, so if you can put your sheets away, so we'll try and do this in our minds. So let's say we're in the fifth position. We want to play a C major chord. What notes can we reach in the fifth position? What notes do we need, first of all? And what notes can we reach? So what will the resulting chord be?
Is it okay if I just jump in, because this may be the only one I can answer?
Sure.
All right, so we need a C, we need an E, and we need a G.
Yes, very good.
And the C would be in the on the fifth string in 8th position.
The C would be on the 5th string. Did you say?
Right. Yes. Yes. In on the 8th position, on the 8th fret. Is that correct?
Which string?
Well, if we're the fifth string.
The fifth string, 8th fret of the 5th string. You're not so that would be an F. 8th fret of the 5th string is an F.
Right. Oh, okay.
You're on the right. You're on the right.
6th string. Right. So then it would be the 8th fret.
Yeah. So you could do it on the 6th string. Sure. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. So we could do that 6th string. That one, C. Right. That would be with 4th finger. Why can't I select it? There we go. 4th finger. Okay. And 6th, and we're in the 5th position.
5th position.
And that's on the 6th string. Very good. Okay.
Right. And yeah. And then the E is on the 5th string, 7th position.
The E is on the 5th string, on the 7th
and 7th fret.
Right. Yep, you got it. Very good.
Right. Right.
So
then the G.
Oh, sorry. What finger will we use to play that?
We use the 3.
The 3. Very good. Very good. Very good. I need to get these numbers smaller. Sorry. There we go. So you're getting a bit of an idea of what editing music's like, Okay. 4 and a 3. Okay, good. Yeah, 4 on the 6th string, 3 on the 5th string. We've got C and E. Awesome. Okay, great.
And then the G on the 4th string, 5th fret.
Yeah. Very good.
First.
With the 1st finger. Yep. Great. Okay. So that's a triad there. That's great. Awesome. Triad in the 5th position. Now with chords, we can we can add more notes to the triad. We can double notes of the triad, right? So are there any more notes that we can play in the fifth position?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a C at the, I don't know, hold on. Yeah, in the fifth fret, third string, that's a C.
Set. Yep. Yep.
You can also hold with the 1 with a
The
bar.
one as well. That's great. Yep. Got it. Any other notes?
I don't want to hog it all. Christine, did you want to add anything?
Please, no, it's fine. No, I'm just sort of trying to pick up where you are.
That's fine. So then on the
Half
second
expecting
string,
half expecting the phone to go. I think it's all right.
right, on the second string, we've got the E on the fifth fret.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That's great. Okay. Awesome. Very good. So if we play this particular chord, there's only one string left, which is the first string. And if you think about, you know, what this particular fingering is sort of limiting us to, I don't, you know, we can't really play any other notes of C. You know, there's no C, E, or G that we can play with it, because unless we had an extra finger, or something, you know, there's, oh, if we refingered it, we could actually play C on the top as well. Oops, that one. We could actually play C on the top. How would we do that? What would we need to do that? We'd have to.
That's the 8th fret, is it?
That's the 8th fret. Very good.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Oh yeah, try not to look at that, Christine. We want to try. It's not an open book exam. That's so we want to try and do this all in our mind. Yeah. So yeah, but that is the 8th fret. So is there a way we can play all 6 strings in the 5th position? So we have C on the top string as well.
Well, we could, but we would. That would be quite a stretch.
We'd have to refinger it. Right? We'd have to use a different fingering. So what is that fingering? What finger would be probably, what would we probably use for this one, for the top C?
The 3.
The 3? If we use 3 on the top C, it leaves our 4th finger sort of out in the open. So
I'm trying to configure my hand. I mean, it does leave it out, but I mean,
so we need to use all. We're probably going to use all of our fingers. Mm-hmm. So the 4th finger's not. So what we'll probably do is use the 4th finger for that top C.
Oh,
right.
For the top C, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Typically how it works. Like if we're using all of our fingers, well, not typically, but no, it doesn't. It can work. It's there's no logic to it really. On the
right.
Okay, so 4th finger. If we do the 4th finger there, we've got 1 on the C. So we've got 1 on the E. We've got 1 on the C. We've got 1 on the G. So it's kind of a bar there. Now, how can we play? We've only got fingers 2 and 3 left. Okay, so if we've got the C, you got to think about the frets here. C, this C is also on the 8th fret, and this is on the 7th fret. So what would be the most logical fingering?
The 3 on the low C.
Yeah, that's it. Good job.
Right.
3 on the low C, and then 2 on the E there. There you go. So you get a fifth position. Oh, I wish I can get rid of this green line because it's a bit. Let me see. Do that. Maybe get rid of it. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
There you have it. Yeah, that's mighty chord.
Yeah, that's a big chord there. Yeah. A six string C major chord in the fifth position. This is what it looks like.
Wow.
Nice one. That's also movable as well. It's a movable shape. And with a lot of chord shapes, you do take fragments of them or segments of them. So if you look at if we go to this chart here, we've actually taken a segment. If you look at the fifth position chord here, this one, you see how we've taken a segment right there? Looking at, excuse me, looking at this one, fifth position. You see that segment there?
Yes, there it is.
4 notes are the top 4 notes of what we have here. So we've filled in with the other 2 fingers some other notes you could play. So your chords often work that way. For example, this one here in the 8th position this is a segment of a larger chord as well. How can I make this one into a larger chord where I can play notes below it? Again, we have to think of the notes C, E, G.
You can play a C on the 6th string.
C on the 6th string, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Of
course.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
So there's only one more note. There's only one more note we need. We've got 5.
Right.
So what's the last note? That's on the 6th string, right? Oops. Spinning
So
wheel.
the 5th
Yeah, so something on the 5th string. That's right.
I guess this would be the G.
The G, good. What fret is that on?
Going to be on the 10th fret.
Very good. 10th fret, G. Yeah. So that the chord, I think you'll both recognize the chord. We do have to slightly alter the fingerings a little bit, but the chord is our standard. Yeah,
chord.
C major bar chord shape.
There it is.
So this one here, you see how this is a segment of the one that's in this exercise here. That's a segment of that. Okay.
That makes
another interesting subtlety of chords on the guitar. Yeah. All right. Good. Christine, how did you go with F major and G major? Did you have a chance to?
Yeah, I've worked them out, but I did it.
Yeah.
The same as last week, really. I've just sort of written, kind of my version of what they are. So I've got part way there, I suppose is what I'm saying.
You've written, can you clarify that? You've written your version.
Yes.
How?
Yes, I've written like on the first fret, you've got the notes F A, F A.
Yes.
Right.
The first F's, first fret on the 6th string. The A's are open 5. The next F's 3rd fret, 4th string, and the A's 2nd fret, 3rd string.
Yeah. So you wrote. So did you write? You wrote it out again, and you wrote all of these things like that's F, that's A, that's F, that's A, that kind of thing, and then. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yeah. That's as far as. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Well.
What I guess what I'd where I'm trying to take you with this is to think to be able to read and think this way as in you're in a position, it's generally one finger per fret when you're in that position. And from
Yes.
there, you should be able to work out the notes, or at least the chord shape. Work out the chord shape, and then you know, the notes will also, I guess, reveal themselves. Like if we go to this 5th position chord, for example, we see that there's a 1 and a 1. So if there's two 1s, it's probably indicating some kind of bar.
Mhm.
And then we've got a 2 in the middle and a 3 on the bottom. So you're able to form that chord just with that information, Christine?
Well, I've tried.
Yeah.
Are you only using the first 4 strings?
Yeah, just using the first 4 strings.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
They're
Yeah.
kind of next to it. They're kind of close to each other. So
Yes, well, that's important, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
it's not particularly difficult to go 1, 2, 3, but then you think which string?
yeah, it's one of the, you know, things we have to consider. But so if you got that chord, can you play that one for us, please? Beautiful. There you go. Yeah, that's great. And then the next chord is in the 5th position as well, and we can see that, yeah, these 3 notes are the same, so only the top note's changing, adding your 4th finger. That's it. Great. Beautiful. And then in the 8th position, we've got a 1 on the bottom, a 1 on the top. There's a bit of a gap here, so there's probably a string in between. And then we've got 3 and 4.
Oh, that's not it. Haven't got it.
You haven't got it quite there. So
No.
now you have to think, all right, what do I need to change? Usually a very slight change, like 1 fret up or 1 fret down sort of thing.
Right.
I'm trying not to look at this piece of paper where I've written the answers.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Very
is where you
tempting.
want to try to activate your fretboard knowledge a little bit, and you know, think about what notes you've got down now. You've got, with your first finger, you've got, what have you got there? F, yeah. And then
Yes.
your 3rd finger here, you've got F, right? Have you got that? What fret would that F be on, Christine?
Well,
12th fret. This one?
The higher F I've got on the.
Hang on, we're in the 8th position, yeah? We're going to be in the 8th position. If you put your 3rd finger down, if you're getting to the 12th fret, that's a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I've got
if it's 1 finger per fret, the 3rd finger should fall on what fret?
10.
10. That's it.
And the 4th on 11.
10. And if it's 1 finger per fret, the 4th on 11. That's right. And then your first
But
finger here.
something's.
Yeah, something's not. So now you have to work out, okay, when I'm in this position, 1 finger per fret, what notes do I have? And then what do I need to change to make it right? Right. So you've got your 3rd finger on the 10th fret. Is that F? 3rd finger on the 10th fret?
Don't know.
How could you work it out? Is there any reference point you've got, like the 12th fret, for example? You know, that's G. The 12th fret's G, so you could work backwards from there.
So it's F sharp. No.
The 12th fret's G, so the 11th fret is.
Oh, A. No. A sharp.
No, we're going down. We're not going up, we're going down. Yeah, so 10th fret's G, 11th fret, we're going down a half step. Maybe visualize a piano.
G sharp.
Sorry?
G sharp.
No,
G
we're,
sharp.
we're going down, not up.
Yeah, it's
we're
the
going
ups and
down.
downs.
Other way. So think of the keyboard, you know, that's sometimes that, like if you're playing a G on the keyboard, that's the 12th fret.
So the higher note,
And then you're going
the higher
down,
note.
you're going down the scale a half step. So it'll be a black note, right?
So if I said F sharp,
F sharp, yeah, that's it. So that's the 11th fret. So I'm sorry if I missed that, if you did say that.
I don't know what I said really.
All right, so
I'm distracted.
So 11th fret's F sharp. So 10th fret is
F.
F. You got it. So your third finger's on the 10th fret. So it is on F. So you've got that right. Okay. So we've got that right. We've got that right. So now we need to check the fourth finger. And it has to, this has to be the one that's not correct, because 3 is correct, 1 on the bottom's correct, 1 on the top's correct because you're barring it. So at the finger in question is the fourth. So we're wanting an A, right? So if you use the same strategy, think about the 12th fret on the second string, which would be a B, right? So where is that A on the second string? If the 12th fret's B, the 11th
Is
fret,
it the 11th?
the 11th fret will
Has
be
to be-
what?
Oh, that'd be A sharp.
That's right.
Yes, A sharp or B flat.
So that's the one that's in, that's it in the one that's in the wrong place.
So what do you need to do to make this into an A natural?
Move it to a higher note. I mean, a lower note.
Move it down. That's it. Move it down a fret. You got it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. So we talked through that process in a lot of depth. There you go. You got it. You got it. That's it. We sort of went through that in some depth there, like checking every note one at a time. But the more you start thinking in positions, the faster you get at this sort of alterations you need to make. Yeah, the faster you get at those types of alterations. That alteration you made there, Christine. Yeah. I think, you know, what you've done is good, and it is necessary at a certain point, writing out the notes and everything. But I think the only way to, I guess, progress is actually to stop doing that, right? And start doing it this way. And I know it's a bit scary, right? But it's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of approaching it. And it actually ends up being faster in the long run, much faster, because then you don't have to rely on writing out all of the details. So, okay. So, and, you know, a lot of the times it does line up one finger per fret. So, you know, I think most of these chords do that. This one's another exception, and it's in the first position. So you might be able to work this one out a bit faster, perhaps. Christine, this chord here. So we've got a 1 and a 1. Yeah, so a little bar in the first position. And then, so what's the exception? What are we changing from our typical one finger per fret?
The fourth finger. This
Fourth finger.
gone to third fret on the fourth string.
That's it. It's
Which is
squeezing in. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It's squeezing in with the next to the third finger. That's it. That's actually what you did here. It's the same thing. The fourth finger squeezed up to the third finger to the 10th fret from the 11th fret.
I hadn't
All right. So
said the wrong note.
sorry.
If I hadn't said the wrong, I get confused by the up and down again and again. And I suppose it's my aging brain, but you know, down still seems to me that like that, and up still seems
Yeah,
to me
I still don't know what to say, like what the correct down, going down the fretboard, going up the fretboard. Maybe we should as a classical guitar community worldwide, we should come to an agreement. Yeah, like what is
Invert it.
up the fretboard and what is down the fretboard? Because we've got an agreement about string numbers, right? Because sometimes beginners come in and they say like that's the first. Yeah, they think that's the first string a lot of the times because it's closest to you, right? Maybe that's one reason. So we've come to an agreement about that. That's the sixth string. Is this, you know, is this going up or is that going down the fretboard? I mean, we're going up in pitch, so maybe we should come to agreement about that. It's going up in pitch. So let's say that's up, and if we're going down in pitch, that's going down the fretboard. Yeah,
I agree. We should do that.
yeah. Oh, that's good. I've never clarified that for myself. I think I've got some clarity now. All right. So Christine, with that type of approach, I think you could learn these chords faster. I mean, it'll be a little bit. Sometimes you might get, you know, especially with the higher positions, if there is an exception to the 1 finger per fret type thing, you know, that it might take a little bit of time to work that out. But working that out, I think, is what will help you to grow, right? And just getting better at that process. So, okay. So that's
Thank you. Yes.
that. I also sent you some intervals, like a little test of intervals in different positions. So get that
Yes.
up.
Yes, I see them.
Yeah. So that's something we could all kind of work on, I think. Just gonna download this.
There it is. Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah, so I told you which strings to play on. They're all quite high up the fretboard. Download linked file. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I guess the question is, you know, what position are we in? What fingers would we be using? What type of interval is it? And some of the questions we can think about.
Now, I'm allowed to look at what I've written this time.
Yes,
Am I?
yes. Yeah. Maybe we'll take it in turn. So Christine, you can want to do the first one, and then Robert the
First
second
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Now it's strings 4 and 5, right?
Yeah.
And it's major third.
Yep.
And it's fingers 1 and 2 if it's a major third.
Yep. 1 and 2.
So I've got the F, the 8th fret on the 5th string, and the A, the 7th fret on the 4th string.
Great. Mm-hmm.
See, I could look this all up, you see. So it's much easier.
How long did that take you, Christine? Did that take very long, or was it a bit faster now that you've practiced these things a bit?
Oh, a little bit. I'm beginning to trying to just remember like what the notes are, the open strings on the 5th fret and the 7th fret. And I was starting on the 11th before to give me a kind of cue.
Yep.
Is that a good way of doing it or not?
Definitely, yeah, because the A on the 5th fret, you know, that's sorry, on the 7th fret, on the 4th string, you know, that's that coincides with the open A, so it's sort of a good, Okay, good. Robert.
Sure. We have a B and a D. So the B is going to be played with the 3rd finger on the 12th fret.
Yep.
and the D is going to be played with the first finger on the 10th fret.
Yep.
Um,
Right.
So it's in 10th position. I would say it probably took me about between about 5 seconds to figure it out. And where I finally got my reference point was when I saw the B. I'm like, well, if it's a high B, high B, 12th fret,
12th
piece
fret.
of cake. That
Yeah.
one I know. And then the D, I was like, okay, well, yes. If I'm on the 12th fret, I know that on the 10th fret, those top three notes are F, A, D. So that's where I was like, oh, there's the D. All right. So I've got my B, I got my. So it took me about 5 seconds, but I kind of went from the 12th fret and worked backwards.
Good. That's good. Yeah. The 10th, 12th and 10th are, pretty good reference points. The 10th D. So we've got the D and D. We've got A. One exception, the F.
Right.
Actually, the C as well. We don't have an open C on the 10th fret. G. We've got 10th fret of the 5th string, we've got G, and then 10th fret of the 6th string, we've got D. So that's a pretty good reference point, as well as the 12th fret, which is the octave.
Yeah, absolutely. 10th fret, important.
And what is it, a major third or a minor third based on that?
It's a major third, isn't it? Let me see. No, B. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second here. B, C. Oh no, it's a minor third.
A minor third, yeah.
It's only 3 half steps.
Only 3 half steps. The other way to
Right.
figure out is that the finger pattern is 3-1, so that's a minor third finger pattern, right?
Good.
If there's two, like across the strings, if there's a fret in between, if that makes sense, right? So like if we do
Sure.
that 3-1, there's a fret in between. There's this fret in between them. So that's a minor third. If there's no fret in between them, if they're adjacent frets next to each other like this, that's a major third. Right? On most pairs, the exception is, which two strings are the exception to that? So that applies to all
B and
almost.
C and E and F.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't quite sure of the question. Do you mean B and C and E and F?
No, what I mean is 3-1 is a minor third on strings 2 and 1. It's a minor third on strings 6 and 5. It's a minor third on strings 5 and 4.
It's a minor, yeah.
The minor third on strings 4 and 3. So
So it's got to be
is
2.
3 and 2, right? Strings 3 and 2.
Right. There's an extra half step in there.
That's we've got a third. When we play G and B, that's a third. All the other fourth, and fourth. So that from E to A is a fourth. From A to D is a fourth. From D to G is a fourth. And from B to E is a fourth. From G to B is a third. And that's why we have a different pattern for those two strings. So a major third is that, right, on these two strings, and a minor third is that.
One, yeah.
One,
yeah, 1 and 2 would be what? That would take us to a second, right? No, that's not.
Yeah, it does take us to. We do 3-1. It's a second.
One that's second.
Yeah.
There's a C. Take us back to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the finger pattern can help you. I should have done one on strings 3 and 2. I didn't. Okay. So Christine, the next one, strings 3 and 4.
Right. So we've got a C sharp and an E.
Yep.
And it's a minor third. So you use fingers 1 and 3. Now I know that.
Right.
2 and 3 aren't used.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, that's powerful what you just said there. Now that you know 2 and 1 is a major third, 3 and 1's a minor third. That's a quick way to know.
The C sharp is on the 11th fret on the 4th string,
Yeah.
and the E is on the 9th fret on the 3rd string.
Right.
Beautiful. Yeah. Very good.
Very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And Robert, the last one.
Last one. So we've got a D leading us to an F sharp. So that's a minor third. No, it's a major third. That's a whole 4 steps. And so that,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, now that you know it's a major third, you know, it's on strings 5 and 6, you actually know what fingers
Right. It would be, yeah, one in,
going to be a 1 and a 2, right? Yeah.
1 and a 2. Right. And so, right. So there's that. Yeah, let's get
You need
this
to
there.
figure out what
D is going to be on the 10th fret, and the F sharp is going to be on the 8th fret. So I'm in 8th position.
8th position. That's it. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
Two,
see,
one.
there you go.
Major third. D and F sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see how this thinking, well, I'm noticing with both of you how this thinking is helpful. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Gives you information about how to play things, where to play them, what that interval is. So,
Right.
Can we just go back to that last one?
Mm-hmm.
So the D's the 10th fret on the 6th string, isn't it?
yep.
And are using
Oh, sorry.
figures 1 and 2.
Did we say? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You're right. Robert said 8th fret for the 1,
Oh,
but it should
it's
be
I've got
9th.
9th. Then
It should be 9th
Oh,
fret. Sorry. Yeah.
It's a 9th fret. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
9th position.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
nice catch.
Good catch, Christine.
Right.
Yeah.
F sharp is on.
occasionally I guess something right.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I'll never forget that, Christine. I'll never forget that now.
Awesome.
Oh dear.
All right. Well, that, you know, we covered the fretboard, you know, there's always more to do. But now we're in a new month, and you know, the plan is to sort of move on to the next
I know what this means.
to sort of move on to the next topic. So, and you know, it kind of suits Robert, you know,
Yeah.
quite well. So,
Musician.
yeah, musicianship, singing.
So it actually suits me quite well too,
Oh, yeah?
because one of the reasons I'm doing this course is that normally I'm in 2 choirs,
Ah,
and I have to listen. And I have to listen all the time and learn, which is fine. You know, you can. There's lots of great choir websites and so on. But I'd love to be much better at music reading for choir too. So
yeah,
singing's fine.
right. Fantastic. What I'd like to start with is just the basic major scale. If you can both sing a C major scale, I'll be very, very happy as a starting point. Yeah. So who would like to go first?
Christine would love to go first.
choir trained singer here, Christine. So set the example. Set the
I
bar.
don't know if I can do this. This is probably just what I need to learn, actually. So now I can. There's a scale of C major on my wall here.
Right.
But I don't know that helps me sing it, does it really? So if the C, now the other thing is
Right.
guitars, someone told me, is tuned an octave down.
It
So
sounds an octave
yeah, so you
lower
can't use that as your,
or an octave
as
higher
your-
than it's written. I can't remember.
oh yes, one of those things. Lower notes.
I think
I
it
think, isn't it?
sounds an octave lower than it's no.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to. That's something I should know.
I don't know what to do with it. I know it, but one of those bits of information.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure if I can.
but for
So-
now, I'll answer that maybe next time. Okay, so I'll look into that because it is an interesting. But yeah, whatever range suits you, Christine. Whatever range suits you. You know, if you need to do it up an octave or.
So I'll be guessing. I've got no idea if this is a C scale. But C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
That's great.
sound
Yeah,
right?
it is a major scale. You just started on
Oh. So
yeah, F sharp. You started on F sharp. So you sang
Oh.
a major scale in a comfortable range. Like that. Yeah. So that's great. That's fine. Yep. Are you able to though, because there is an exercise I'd like to look at this week. Are you
Okay.
able to start here? This is an actual C. Are you able
Wow.
to start the scale on C?
Dun,
Yeah.
dun. So I'm going down.
Going
Whoops.
up from there. Going up from there.
Oh, that's very high.
Is
Isn't
it-
Yeah.
is that too high for you?
I'm an alto, not a soprano.
You're an alto. That's good though. What if you start?
Well,
Can you start an octave lower, like here? Is that too low? Octave lower.
Was I doing it right? I should have been singing downwards.
No. Can you start an octave lower?
An octave. Are you going to play it? Ooh, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
giving you the starting note.
Do, 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 do.
You're still starting on the same C, right? This one.
Am I? Yes.
You're starting on that.
Dun,
Can you start on?
Can I start there?
Can you go? And can you sing the scale downwards from here?
Dun, da, 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 da.
Okay, that's that. Can you start the scale on that C? That low one. Yep.
Da, 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 da.
Is that a bit more comfortable than the high one, or?
Yeah, I suppose so. It depends on the range again, doesn't it? Really? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
still hard,
the
even
range.
though
That's the range I'm kind of looking at. I
Getting-
think there, because the exercises in this, in book 4, they actually go above. Like some of them go above the octave. So if you started in the higher octave that you sang first time, by the time you get to this high E, that's very, very high. But if you start in the lower octave, it gives you some room to go up. You know what I mean? Even higher than an octave. You can go to 2. You've got 2 octaves in there, right? You've got a 2 octave range of C major. Does that make sense, Christine?
yes.
Yeah, which is great. That means,
So you go from one C to the next C and the next C. Is that a 2 octave range?
That's
Yeah.
your range. That's your range. Yeah. Of C major. So that means we're good. You're good for these. Robert,
Mhm.
would you
Yep.
like to sing a C major scale? And if you can, give you the starting note.
Do,
Yep.
si, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da. No,
That's beautiful. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Excellent.
that is the extent of my range.
Can you go up a couple more notes? Do you think?
No, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da. no, probably not.
Any
Maybe.
higher? Can you go up like 2 more notes?
No.
You might have to go to falsetto.
Yeah, I was gonna say. La, 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 da, 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 da.
That's it.
That's probably
That's
it.
good. Beautiful.
La, yeah,
There's
the
a
next
good
one is
voice. There's a good voice in there too. Yeah, very nice. Very clear. Yeah,
I think.
yeah. That's great.
But
That's great. Because as I pointed out, these exercises go, that's kind of where they go to. So you
Right.
know, like this one here, starting in that C, there's the octave, and then that's the 2 notes higher that you just sung there.
Right.
So if you wanted to
Yes.
sing this full exercise, you need that range there.
Taking
Otherwise,
the
you have to drop down an octave. Like when you get to a note that's out of your range, you have to drop it down an octave. It's not ideal, but that's, you know, if we need to do that, we need to do that. So all right, so maybe so I think next time we'll, for this week, if you could just study number 2. Yeah.
See it? Yep.
Oh no, sorry, not number 2, because that's the scale. I want to do something a little bit. They're all just moving by scale, aren't they?
I'll say don't underestimate the power of the scale.
Got intervals. We could do that next week, I guess. I'm just trying to think of something for Robert, because
that's I mean, that's fine.
yeah,
I think so.
practice
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I think we would practice that and build. Sure.
what can we? I'm wondering if what I could do is quickly, I could record this bottom part, and then you'd be able to sing over it, Robert.
Okay.
How about
Sure.
we do that? And
that would be great.
You could do the same thing, because actually, you know what, singing and playing this is quite a challenge. So I'll record like a backing track for you here. this bottom line, it'll only be, you know, a minute or so, and then you can both practice singing the top line over it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
That would be great.
Awesome. Great. Well, let's wrap it up there. So good job, both of you, with the fretboard. I think for 1 month, I think you've made a lot of progress. Just, you know, keep it going if you can. Keep up that type of work that we looked at, and the exercises, and now we'll transition into singing. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that was great. Those are a couple of really good nuggets in that one. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Very helpful.
Good to have you back with us, and
good to be out of pain.
You know, you looking
Fantastic.
well.
Yes, I didn't hear how you're feeling, but I'll play the video when we get it.
I mean, I'm fine. The doctor looked at the surgical area today, and they still have a pin through my wrist, but they're going to take that out in 3 weeks. So they said the prognosis. But
well, that sounds okay, doesn't it? Yes, great. Yes.
But once the bone decides it wants to be one bone again, then I'll be much better.
Yes. So it's the wrist particularly, is it? Yeah.
Well, they don't know. That's why they pinned it. They said, let it just sit for 5 weeks. Let it do its natural thing. Don't do this, none of that. And then you should be fine. That's what they said. So, but they didn't, they don't see anything, but they won't know. So anyway, but thank you for asking. I really appreciate it.
Great. All right. Well, have a great rest of the week, and see you next time.
See you guys.
Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience, Daniel.
My pleasure. No, it's great.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.